Hello, everybody. We are back. It is our incredible last guest speaker of the day. Very, very excited about this. I've been waiting, like so excited. First of all, Katie made it very clear that she wanted to be in this position on the Lion's Gate. So I just love the energy of that as well, like this conscious awareness of the magic that's been unfolding through this whole event. And now we're coming up into this beautiful experience with Katie around Seimei. First of all, am I pronouncing that correct? Okay, beautiful.
Yes.
I love that. I would love to introduce you first, Katie. So I know Katie from another area, and of course now I've closed that document down. So, oh my gosh. Oh, best laid plans, right?
hmm
Yeah. Okay. So let me tell you a little bit about Katie. She is an author and a holistic practitioner. She's a trained level 4 Seimei practitioner. Her training has been both in the US and Japan. She's a mother to 3 girls. Uh, she's written a book about her eldest daughter, Elizabeth, who battled cancer, and provides that book and Seimei workshops. She offers Seimei individually with humans and animals, both in person and from a distance, and has a deep desire to help all those that are suffering, whether on a physical or emotional level, and to reach out to her to learn more. There's just one other little piece to this that I think I might have noticed. Yeah, you're coming again from a career background, like a lot of the people here, like it's just amazing what some of the backgrounds are. You were an accountant and you're
Yes.
coming into this. So first of all, hi, so happy you're here. Love that you've chosen this spot. Um, who are you and what is this Say Me about? And I say
Yes.
who are you for the group, right?
Yes, absolutely. Yes. So, as you said, I'm Katie Fasciano. Um, my specialty is Seimei. I'm a Seimei practitioner. I have been studying for 12 years, and I plan to study for many, many, many more years. It's a lifelong study, if you choose it to be. And I just always want to know the newest and greatest. And so I constantly study. I just got off a plane a day and a half ago from Japan, furthering my studies. So that's how
Love that.
dedicated I am. That's my eighth trip to Japan.
And what I love about that is there's a reason why people come into our world, into our awareness. And when I discovered Katie was doing training in Japan, we already had this beautiful common ground because I was in Japan in 2008 and got to express some of the areas that I'd been to in that. And just being able to share that common ground brought us closer together with that. So tell us now too, what is Seimei?
Seimei is a vital life force,
Mm.
and everyone and everything has a Seimei.
I'm just taking that in, a vital life force. So
hmm
if you were to deepen that, what is that? The vital life force.
The non physical part of everything.
Mm, wow. Wow. I'm just taking that in. Like, it's so comical because this is kind of what we've been experiencing this entire conversation through this whole 3 days is that non-material, non-physical feeling and I love this. So what happened in your life? I believe it probably had something to do with your daughter
Mm.
and your previous career. How did you come into this?
Yes. Well, I love when I just get inspired by a little bit of extra. And today, I'm gonna share like when I was a younger girl and a teenager, I was interested in spirituality.
Mm,
I had other elders in my family that were like interested, would read about or practice, depending who I'm talking about. And so it was fascinating to me. And then what happened? I think it happens to most high school kids. You feel like, okay, everybody goes to college, everybody needs a degree. Da, 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 da. And I got I got my thinking head on, and I had to check all the dots.
Mm.
And, so I went ahead, got my undergrad in accounting, um, landed a great job in Fortune 500 company, uh, got my CPA, then went back. They paid for me to go for my master's degree in taxation, but always in the back of my head, like I always did the next thing, the next thing, the next thing, education, because in my head I said, once I stop, I'm not starting up again. So I need to just keep on it, keep on it, keep on it. And go figure, it was only, a handful of years in corporate America. Now I'm married. Now I have my first child. And when she turns one, she unfortunately ended up diagnosed with a brain tumor. And the very day she was diagnosed was the day she had emergency MRI and emergency surgery. We were thrown into it. We didn't have time for choosing hospitals, choosing surgeons, any of that. And again, I was now in my black and white, ticking the boxes, checking the
Yep.
boxes, kind of thinking. I wasn't dipped into that younger child and, adolescent where I was more interested in spirituality. I had gotten into the, mainstream kind of, this is my job, this is what I do. And but I had to take a recess from that
Yeah.
to care for my daughter. I got back there once, but then I took another recess because at 2 years old, 1 years old, she was diagnosed. She was re-diagnosed at 2. So I took another break. And this time, when they needed me back to work, my daughter Elizabeth was not back on her feet the way I
Mhm.
needed her to be before I was going to be ready to be back to work. So I did end up having to let go of my job.
Yeah.
And I gave then, it ensued many years of caregiving
Yeah.
on my daughter. And now I've had a second child, and soon after I had a third child. And actually, this is a I don't even, it's probably not the right time to mention, but it's very specific to the free offering that I have. I'm giving 8 tips to stress less while parenting.
Mm.
And I so wish I could have had those tools in the thick of it, in those first 5 years before I found Seimei.
Okay.
It was Elizabeth's third battle with cancer at 6 years old that it shifted my thinking
Mm.
back, I guess, back to when I was a kid. Like, it was like, wait, there's got to be something more than just the traditional here. Let's
Mhm.
see if we can blend something like this Western. I'm not going to give up Western
Yep.
medicine,
Yep.
but can we blend something from the East with the West? And I was just so blessed to have a friend that had a child that was going to therapy, same occupational physical therapy like Elizabeth. And I said to that woman, what are you doing now? She was doing a lot of alternative things. And she
Okay.
said, oh, I'm doing Seimei. Tonight we have an open night for the public. Come on by. I didn't hesitate. I didn't ask a single other question. I showed up at the address she told me to show up.
Life
And
changed.
oh my gosh, yeah. As soon as I walked in the door, I felt this like knowing, a
Mm.
knowing that I was home, and I felt enveloped in love.
Mm.
And I was like, I don't know what this is,
Oh my
but
gosh, I can so
but
feel.
I something higher than my mind. So my subconscious was kind of like nudging me and being like, "Don't you miss anytime they're open to the public, you get your butt there, you get your daughter there," and that's what I did.
Wow.
and
Um,
the and the story ensues.
yeah, yeah. And I'm just going to give you a moment to take a few breaths right now because you're saying so many impactful things, and I just want to catch everybody up with the nuances while you take a few breaths, okay? One is, first of all, she had an incredible career that she was striving and mastering and all these incredible things. She had an extreme circumstance, an extreme event, and by no means am I making it smaller than it is by not saying it was about your daughter. It's more about it was an extreme event occurred in your life, and it kept occurring until you were basically put in the position and offered this gift of, hey, why don't you join us over here? And witnessing that and taking that step And like I said, that was a life-changing moment for you, and everything that's unfolded since then. So I so really appreciate your vulnerability and telling us about kind of like these behind pieces. Like I really feel you and I understand. I may not have lived your experience, but I definitely understand the emotions being a mom myself. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
So what happened from there?
Yeah. Soon into me going twice a week, every week to the
Mhm.
center where they were offering these beautiful sessions. Um, they that day and now that myself, I'm a Seimei practitioner. Anytime I work with someone, and back then when they were working with us, and I was just a person
Yeah.
coming there, we would ask and do still ask for a symptom in someone's body. For a child like Elizabeth, she was only 6. So for her and younger kids, we as parents, or other adults observe and see what she needs. And in that moment, a few weeks in, they said, well, we see she has orthotics on her legs. We noticed that her walk is not so fluid. Her very first surgery at 1 year old left her hemiplegic, which was
Okay.
paralyzed on her whole right side of her body.
Okay.
She came back with lots of therapies, physical and occupational, to get the motor skills again, to master walking again. But she needed those orthotics because there was still weakness in her legs. And so that given day, they said, we're going to use that as a focus and we're going to help her to walk and run better. So when you receive Seimei, you sit in a chair, and it's all done non-touch around the chair. So Elizabeth sat in her chair, and the practitioner started working on her, and then they said, "Okay, Elizabeth, we want to check in. We want to make sure she's doing better. So, okay, Elizabeth, go run around the room." The tears of joy started and didn't stop because it was the most beautiful she'd ever walked or run in her life.
Wow.
And it was in that moment I said, okay, where do I sign up? How soon can I start learning? I don't want to just come here and have you work on her. I need to do this myself, and I need to have it accessible so I can do it as many times as I want every single day for her.
I'm so hearing what you said. When I've had my own series of injuries, and that was one of the things that prompted me is like, I don't want to keep going to somebody for help. I need to learn how to do this with myself or on myself and be able to share this with my kids, my husband, my friends, my family. So yeah, I can just this vital life force, the Seimei, I'm really witnessing something very, very powerful here. And thank you for bringing us along on this journey. Yeah. So your daughter's now running around the room. I could just I want to weep for joy as well. I could just feel the magic of that. What unfolded from there?
So made sure I got my paperwork filled out. I had to wait two months until the next offering was happening for the first of many levels.
In the
Uh,
United States, I'm guessing at this time too, correct?
this
Yeah.
Back in those years, yes,
Okay.
it was such a gift that back in those years you could take levels 1 and 2 in America. That's not how it's done any longer. You're basically to Japan first, and then you come back with not the level of training, like I was thankfully allowed much more training. And then I did make a trip to Japan.
Mhm, mhm.
Um, you know um, but again, it was all the circumstances in between and Elizabeth's medical condition and that delayed the trip to Japan for me. But it was destined to happen. It's something that has not just changed in a health way for me. It's changed my entire way of being, my lifestyle, my career, and on and on and on. The shifts that it's made in me, and the courage it's allowed me, and
Mm. That's a big piece there, the courage, right? So
the
you
courage.
went from a career person to realizing that you needed to be more present with your child, especially with Elizabeth,
Yes. Yeah.
discovering the Seimei and starting to go, okay, so I need to do more in this, learning about it. And I could just feel this natural progression of something was put in front of you and you chose to step into it. So then you went on to explain about yes, there is the Japan aspect and things have shifted. We can't do this in the United States per se anymore as a beginning step of it. What were those beginning moments like the beginning moments of actually being instructed to become a practitioner?
Um, Magical is the word that comes to mind. I mean, it's really incredible. I mean, you go through a ceremony. Immediately after the ceremony, you're using your seimei. So, and we do activities after the ceremony to prove it to ourselves, because your mind takes a little while to catch up to that idea that how could that even be?
Uh, so where I don't know that I have another question for you, but what more would you like to relate to us about this?
Yeah, just that Seimei is not all that well known in the North America. I'll say U.S., Canada, and also beyond Japan. Japan, it's better known. There's many more practitioners in Japan. We're a smaller group here in America. We're growing, but it's a very strong, dedicated community. Sorry.
Oh, that's all right. Oh, did we lose her entirely? We might have lost her entirely. Oh no. Oh, she pressed the wrong button, you guys. We'll wait for her to come back on. This is absolutely fascinating. I know for myself, I've done training in orthobionomy, and I just really recognize how much it changed my life as well. And it was something that wasn't commonly known in North America per se, especially like it was more known in Canada than it was in the United States. And even today, it still is like that. So it's really interesting to hear kind of these similarities of this as we go back and forth and recognize that the things that are coming up with us as we're moving through our life, it gets put in front of us to be able to experience something that is going to make a massive difference in our lives. Thank you for coming back, Katie. I know you probably just hit the wrong button there, so here you are. It happens. That's all right.
I was like, oh
We waited.
no, thank you.
So you were just kind of in the process of just sharing that it's more common in Japan, less common here, and that there's more practitioners now. I guess I do have another question. It's like, is this for only the dramatically ill type of people, or is it across the board? What like I want a better understanding of the because to me the vital life force is within every single person, right? And
Correct.
you learn with Seimei how to tap into that. And I imagine there's some sort of parameters to that. And I don't, by no means do you need to give us all the background details that practitioners and masters per se are privy to, but maybe just a rounded more understanding of where this is used, how this is used, right? Like who is it used on or
Right.
with?
Great question. It is not just for the critically ill. It is for all. Gosh, just a story that just popped into my head. One of the other practitioners, her goddaughter was an active member of a basketball team, and the godmother does seimei, so the goddaughter knows and experiences plenty of seimei. But eventually, all the teammates found out about it. And so, as an experiment, they weren't having a great basketball season.
Okay.
So the godmother did Seimei for the goddaughter. These are healthy children,
Yep.
athletes, did it for the goddaughter and did it for most of the teammates. The score, they not only won, it was a blowout.
Wow.
So, you know, it's used for children, it's used for adults,
Yeah.
it's used for chronic and acute. It can be for a lifelong disease. It could be for, let's say a healthy person, they've just sprained a muscle or they've broken a bone, or let's say someone's just had a C-section.
Mm.
That incision, it when it's a recent injury and or surgery, it helps to promote a faster healing.
Okay. Can I just I want to swing back for just a moment so people can have a clearer understanding because depending on who's listening to this because of where I got it right now, I just really want to make this clear. This wasn't about this beautiful soul assisting her goddaughter and the team to win. That wasn't it at all on one sense. Basically, what it did, it provided a connection between these players that isn't a material connection. It's
Mhm.
more about this awareness of where the other person is, this energetic sensing, if you will, that brought the team together as one to provide this powerful display, I guess, if you will, right?
Yeah. Yes. And it's happened other times. It's just that's the story that popped in my head. And
Fair enough.
um
Yeah.
I love that you said it's the connectivity between them. We have a term in Seimei and it's myogo.
Mm.
Myogo means oneness. So we are all one. Um, and especially anyone that's listening live is benefiting, you know, anytime, like if we're in a forum and I'm doing Seimei to one person within a group, anyone in that same group is benefiting. And speaking to that extent, if you had a tightness, an ache, a pain, a soreness, a headache, a stress, I could show you in the moment, and any people that are watching, even after the fact, can have benefit from it.
Yeah. Am I hearing you having a willingness to kind of share with us right now what this is?
Yes.
Okay. I believe as a group, we would love to take you up on that.
Awesome. Okay.
What does that look
Uh,
like? Can I give you the floor? You want me to just kind of scoot out of the way here?
oh no.
You want to
So
have a,
I actually want the visual on you.
okay.
And because it would be best for the people watching to see something, if possible, if there's anything in the neck or shoulder region that's bothering you, we can check into that area. But visually, our viewers could see a difference. If there
For sure.
is, we're going to leave it open to judgment.
For sure.
Um, so, but if you were to bring your chin to your chest and your head bend back
Yeah.
and then turning to the one side and turning to the other. Are you noticing a tightness more?
Yeah.
So you're
Especially this way. Yeah.
now, is that the right side? Is it flipped around?
Yes, it's the right side. Yeah.
It's the right side. So when you're turning away towards the left, you feel, yeah, when you turn to the left, you feel it on the right.
Um, no, when I turn to it's actually the the tilting point of the skull. It's turning both ways, more
Okay.
so turning that way, but both up top.
Okay. So, but more intense when you turn your head to the right, up
Yeah.
top, like at the top of the spine where it meets the skull.
Yes.
And so the more descriptive, the better. So, in other words, is that a sharp shooting pain? Is it a tightness, an achiness?
There's
What?
definitely a shooting pain and a tightness and it's crunching.
Okay. And that, is it one little spot? Is it a line?
It's a line,
It's a
exterior more on the outside of the neck than on the inside towards the spine.
so to the right of the spine,
Yes.
would you say?
Yes.
And how long is it?
I
How
put it
high?
as
About
probably 2.5, 3 inches.
And how wide?
Finger width.
Finger width. Okay. And intensity 1 to 10.
Probably about a 6.
About a 6.
Yeah.
Okay, and just do the head turn right and left so we could just pay attention to the turning. To me, visually, it looks like you also have a limited mobility when you turn to that right, just to have that awareness there as well. So I'm going to get started. And if your eyes are open, it's better.
Okay.
So
I was just
we'll
about to
get
close them, so I'm glad you said that.
yes, yes. So here we go. I'm gonna get started. You may or may not feel things. You can give back feedback, or if you have any questions in the moment. But here we go.
I just felt the relaxing of the shoulders for sure.
Wonderful, beautiful. Okay. Oh, I
Yeah.
just visually saw the relaxing
Yeah.
again. Wow, cool.
Yeah.
So just gonna spend a minute or two and then just have you turn the
Sure.
neck after a minute or two.
Sure. Yeah. It's a really interesting feeling there. I'm not sure that I could describe it. Oh, there. Yeah, that feels. Yeah. It feels like
Wonderful.
it feels like there's been a loosening, like where I felt like it was. I've just been sitting. My head's been sitting on this. It feels
Yes,
much looser now. Yeah.
wonderful, beautiful. So I just want to do a little bit more to get a little bit more cleared out. The lovely thing, though this is a quick demonstration, it keeps making positive changes in your body for 2 to 3 more days.
Okay.
So,
Wonderful.
you should really feel even a bigger result later tonight and tomorrow.
Yeah,
So,
I'm feeling this wave down into my shoulder, and by wave I don't mean that it's a wave of pain. It just feels more like a wave of energy down into my shoulder, and
mhm.
same with up into the they're not sinus cavities, but something about that ear area in the back of the head as well.
Wow, very cool. When you just said ear area, my right ear popped, and I've had a little bit of clogging there with the travel.
I
So
love it.
thank you.
You're
It
welcome.
and it speaks to the fact that not only when I work, it doesn't just help you, it also helps me. That
Yeah,
oneness idea once again. It's
exactly.
my Seimei merging with your Seimei,
Mm,
making you and me lighter.
love it. Love it.
So, and that's why we check in because we want to make sure you're lighter, because then that reflects a lightness in us. And certainly we all want to be lighter.
Well, and it's that mirrored, I'm mirroring, right? Like
Yeah.
if I say something wonderful about you, it's because you're mirroring. I'm mirroring it myself. That's what it is, right? Yeah.
Beautiful. I like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm feeling a real interesting lightness back here. There's just a
Wow.
little bit on this side because of there's a yeah, I want to close my eyes because it's so natural for me
Yes.
to close my eyes.
Yeah. No, it's best that your eyes are open. So you get the best results, and it's your if your eyes are closed, your spirit may be elsewhere.
Oh, I like that. I like that
So
idea. Thank you. Or
yeah.
concept, I guess is what I'm going for here.
Right, because when your eyes are open, mind, body, and spirit are all present,
That's right.
and
That's right.
we want all three to to be
Okay.
positively influenced.
I'm just loving what you're saying here because it's a whole new awareness, right?
Awesome, oh, absolutely, absolutely, yes, yeah. So, okay, let's see. Just want to just double check. Yes. So please turn both ways with the head.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Wow, you're going so
Yeah.
much further.
Yeah. Massively further.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And how about the pain at the top of the neck there? And it was a line coming
Yeah.
down.
Very, very minimal now. Like, I mean, I'm saying it more because I assume rather than I think it is. Yeah. So let me
So it
just
might
do
even
it
be
again.
gone.
Yeah. It's almost like if somebody was doing this with a finger, that's how it
Yeah.
feels now versus how it felt before, where it was this
A line. Yeah.
definitive line. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, that was
Wonderful. Yeah.
beautiful.
Yep.
Thank
It's
you.
Seimei. It's truly amazing. It's in all of us, including you. So
Wow. Wow. You know what? I would love to open the floor to questions if you're open to that, Katie.
absolutely.
Does anybody have any questions about this? Because this is so new for many of us in North America, especially. Does anybody have any questions? Kitty? She's finding all her buttons on her phone, I'm sure.
Okay. And I think we had something in the chat as well.
Okay.
Simone is asking, can it work on others watching too? And the answer is yes. Everyone watching will receive benefit. And if in replay, if anyone gets to watch it in replay, like it's good for them to check in at the same time
Wonderful.
as I'm doing and then check in again.
Thank you. Kitty, your question.
My question is more, it's not beyond the physical because the brain is physical, but like anxiety, more, I'm very carefully trying to choose my words, things that have more to do with the emotional body.
Mm,
Is this also a practice that works with that, like anxiety, stuck trauma, anger? Am I
Yeah,
making sense?
great
Okay.
it is
question.
making sense. And how lovely that you asked that, because again, circling back to my free offering, it's tools to help to stress less. And it's really stress less altogether, but I did hone in on the parent because that's where my story started, is the parenting with my eldest child, and then with all three of my children together.
Okay. Yeah, because I can see, I love the concept about the eyes open because I tend to be a closer eyes, and it is true. Um, Meditations, all of that, and sometimes the emotional body is so much the precursor to the physical, the
Yeah.
issue in the tissues kind of thing. So, and the idea of the joining of energies is absolutely amazing.
Mm.
Hmm.
And I'm going to try to figure out how to lower my hand,
I got it. I got it for you.
A
Okay, thank
lovely
you.
we the symptomatic, we can get symptoms that are physical that relate to the emotional when someone wants to work with emotion, where we hone in on seeing that physical change during the session or even a quick demonstration like it did for you. um, but both are being helped at the same time. So at the end, a lot of my clients will reflect back to me, not only is that physical symptom improved, but they have this beautiful peace and calmness about them.
Mm.
Okay. Thank
You know,
you
you've
so
been in
much.
such, yeah, sorry to interrupt you there, Kitty. Go ahead, say that again.
Oh, thank you is what I was saying. So,
Okay. Okay. Um, uh, you have no idea how in alignment you've been for this whole summit.
Ah,
It's just, it's wild. It's wild. Like,
beautiful.
um, for starters, all about woo, the world of oneness. Like we're like there's no mistake as to why you're here and this. I love your offer, the 8 tips to reduce the stress and understand this a little bit more. Are there any other questions or comments from the listeners that are currently here? Simone, did you want to express what you've been experiencing there with as I was worked on?
Well, it's still working. It's on my right side. Because I did that too, and I was like, okay, the one with the right, having problems with the right side, it's me.
Ah,
And interesting is, I had the last days, well, lots of was going on with shifting and so on around the third eye, and it's always kind of going down the eyes, blocking and around, the right side. That's especially what I feel. It's around here, the head.
wow.
It's a bit here going down and around the right side here. And it's
Wonderful.
like something's getting out. I can't really describe it. And I just need to keep my head still because of my movements like, ouch. ouch inside.
Yes, yes. But yeah, keep seeing how shifts happen over the next 2, 3 days. That's beautiful. I'm so glad that
Oh,
you've felt that group shift.
Thank you, Simone. Would you recommend, like, oh, rest and drink water and do this and do that? Like, do you have any recommendations for us after experiencing this as well?
Uh, there's really no requirements when receiving Seimei. Um, yeah, it's always a good, healthy practice to drink water, but not specific to Seimei. And rest is sometimes required, but each and every person is unique. Some do feel the need to rest afterwards, but I would say that's not the majority of people. That's just every once in a while there's someone that really they need it, and it kind of also depends on their personal health journey up until that point too, to see what would be best, and what they have to follow what they feel internally what they need. One thing I haven't mentioned is the book that I wrote. You mentioned I was an
Yes.
author, but I didn't get to mention about my book. My book is called Never Give Up Hope, The Little Girl Who Changed the World. And it was a very cathartic process. It's a story near and dear to my heart. Many people had told me over a series of years, they'd hear little snippets of the story and say, "You need to write a book." And I didn't really think that was ever going to be. I kind of shoot it off for quite a while. And then just the everything fell in place again. To your point of the oneness, the right people came into my life, and it was like, okay, it's in neon lights now. You're doing this now, and I was able to do it. I wrote it in a short amount of time, a period of months, but didn't get it published for about a year and a half, because once it was out of me, I got nervous, and I
I
was
get
like,
it.
"Oh my gosh, the world is going to see this." And this is such a story near and dear to my heart, and I so love to tell it individually, person by person. This book is going to tell it, but at the same point, I'm not going to be able to tell everyone personally myself. So I'm blessed that it is now in print and accessible, throughout the world.
I love that. And again, everybody, if you check out the guest speakers page, that's sandrapelli.com/guest dash speakers, you will find Katie and all of our guest speakers there. And if you click on the button that takes you to their next part, like all of us have basically our short bios, our beautiful gifts, and then you go on to that learn more, view more area, and it does an extended offering there of like for Katie with her book. Her book will be there. Okay.
Great.
Any last parting words that you'd like to leave us with?
Just, you know, lean into the joy in life. We have a tough world at the moment, but at the same point, there is always joy in every moment. Yes, there's really tough moments, but you can be joyful. You can find joy really even in the toughest of moments. It might be the hardest job to find it in that moment, but when you can circle back and lean into that joy, it's just going to make things so much better for you.
Again, Katie, thank you so much for being here. And you truly have no idea just how in sync you are with this whole summit. Like it's uncanny. It's just wild.
Wow. Wow. Amazing. I love it.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate you.
You're so welcome. Thank you. Appreciate you having me here.